Don't block her. Don't beg. Don't chase. The very first step is to stop pouring all of your energy outward and start bringing it back to yourself. Because the moment you begin to beg or chase after someone who is pulling away, you place your value in their hands instead of your own. And here's the truth: neediness doesn't create attraction, it destroys it. The more you chase, the more you signal that you do not see yourself as enough. And when you don't see yourself as enough, why would she? Think about it. Every time you send another message, she doesn't answer. Every time you try to prove your worth to someone who isn't showing up for you, you are teaching her that you don't value your own time or your own energy. You are saying, my happiness depends on you. And that is not love. That is dependency. Relationships cannot be built on desperation. They are built on mutual respect. And respect always starts with how you respect yourself. Dr. Gabor Maté often reminds us that much of what we do in relationships is not really about the present. It is about our past. If you find yourself begging or chasing after someone who is not giving you the same energy, ask yourself, where did I learn this pattern? Was there a time in childhood when love felt uncertain? When you had to fight for attention? When you had to prove you were worthy of being cared for? If so, it makes sense that now, as an adult, you repeat that same struggle. But here's the thing: that struggle was never your fault, and it is not your destiny. You do not have to spend your life convincing someone to choose you. The most powerful move you can make is to step back and center yourself. That doesn't mean playing games. It doesn't mean pretending you don't care. It means remembering who you are when you are not consumed by the fear of losing someone. It means asking, what do I need right now? What makes me feel alive, grounded, strong? It means redirecting the energy you would have spent begging for her love into building yourself up. Go to the gym, focus on your work, spend time with friends, invest in your passions. Because when you take care of yourself, something shifts. You stop needing love to come from the outside, and you begin generating it from within. And here's the paradox: when you stop chasing, you actually become more attractive. Why? Because people are drawn to strength, to confidence, to someone who doesn't need validation in order to feel whole. The moment you stop begging for attention is the moment you remind both yourself and her that your value is not negotiable. You are not standing there waiting to be chosen. You are already chosen by yourself. But let's be clear, this is not about manipulation. It's not about pulling away just to make her come closer. That's another form of control, and control never leads to real intimacy. This is about genuinely reclaiming your energy, genuinely deciding that you will not abandon yourself just to hold on to someone else. Because love that requires you to betray yourself is not love at all. It's fear. When you center yourself, you send a powerful message without saying a word. You are telling her, I would like you in my life, but I don't need you to complete me. I am already whole. And whether she comes back or not becomes less important, because you are no longer measuring your worth by her response. You are measuring it by how faithfully you stand by yourself. So don't block her in anger and don't beg her in desperation. Just stop chasing and start centering yourself, because the relationship that matters most, the one that will shape every other connection in your life, is the relationship you have with yourself. And the line you must hold on to is this: the moment you stop fighting for someone else's approval, you begin fighting for your own. And that is when everything changes. when she pulls away, when she ignores your messages, when her words and actions no longer match, the worst thing you can do is take it as proof that something is wrong with you. Too often we internalize rejection and make it a story about our worth. She doesn't want me, so I must not be enough. But the truth is, her behavior is not a reflection of your value. It is a reflection of where she is in her own life, in her own emotional capacity, and in her own readiness to connect. What she does says more about her than it ever will about you. When you begin to accept this, you stop reacting with panic or desperation. Instead, you begin to see clearly. If someone avoids honest communication, that tells you about their courage or lack of it. If someone constantly tests your patience by pulling you close and then pushing you away, that tells you about their ability to sustain intimacy, not about whether you are worthy of love. When she dismisses your feelings or minimizes your needs, that doesn't mean your feelings are too much. It means she is not capable of holding space for them. Gabor Maté often says that pain is information. It is the body and soul's way of telling us what is happening inside. The same is true for relationships. The way someone shows up, the consistency of their words and actions is information. It's not always comfortable to face because sometimes the information tells you that the person you hoped for is not who they truly are. But when you can see it as information instead of rejection, you no longer need to fight, beg, or blame. You simply acknowledge what is being revealed. This shift is powerful because it puts you back in your own strength. Instead of spiraling into self-doubt, you look at the situation with honesty. You ask yourself, do I want to keep investing in someone who cannot meet me where I am? Do I want to sacrifice my self-respect for breadcrumbs of attention? Or do I value myself enough to walk away when the information in front of me shows me the truth? These questions transform pain into clarity. Accepting what her behavior reveals also frees you from the trap of trying to fix her. Many people waste years believing if I love her enough, if I stay patient enough, she will change. But love is not about waiting for someone to become who you wish they were. Love is about seeing clearly who they are right now and deciding whether that aligns with the life you want to build. When you stop taking her behavior personally and start seeing it as information, you move from desperation to wisdom. You understand that her choices are about her, and your choices are about you, and your most powerful choice is always to honor yourself. The truth is simple. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. When things don't go your way in a relationship, the natural impulse is to react. Some people lash out in anger, blocking her in a fit of emotion, thinking it will protect their pride. Others collapse into desperation, sending message after message, hoping she'll finally respond. Both are two sides of the same coin, chaos born from fear. But the truth is, neither blocking nor begging creates connection. What creates real strength, what makes you stand out, is the ability to respond with calm instead of chaos. Staying calm is not about being cold or uncaring, it's about self-control. It's the ability to regulate your emotions in moments where everything inside you is screaming for attention or validation. When she ignores you, when she pulls away, when you feel the sting of rejection, the reactive mind wants to explode. Fine, I'll block you. Or, please, just talk to me. But both reactions hand over your power. Both say, you control me. Calm, on the other hand, communicates something far deeper. It says, I am in charge of me. Gabor Maté has often spoken about the importance of self-awareness when dealing with emotional triggers. Most of the time, when you want to lash out or beg, it's not really about the present. It's about old wounds. Maybe you were abandoned, ignored, or dismissed in the past, and now the same feelings are resurfacing. By reacting with chaos, you're not responding to hurt, you're reliving your old pain. But by choosing calm, you break the cycle. You say to yourself, yes, this hurts. Yes, I feel triggered, but I will not let this pain dictate my actions. That is where true power lies. Responding with calm also shifts the energy of the relationship. Instead of feeding drama with more drama, you create space. That space can be uncomfortable for her because she expects a reaction. She expects you to beg, to prove, to explode. But when you don't, when you remain centered and steady, it forces her to face her own behavior. It creates a mirror she cannot escape. And even more importantly, it reminds you that you don't need to act out of fear. You can act out of choice. This doesn't mean you stay silent forever or pretend nothing happened. It means you respond from clarity, not panic. You might say, I notice you pulled back and I respect that. I'm here if you want to talk, but I'm not going to chase. That kind of calm, grounded response holds more weight than 1,000 desperate texts. It shows maturity, it shows boundaries, and it shows that your sense of worth is not tied to her action. In the end, calmness is strength. It is the quiet power that communicates, I am not here to beg for your love, and I am not here to punish you with anger. I am here to honor myself, no matter what you choose. And the line you must hold on to is this: calm is not weakness. It is the deepest proof of your strength. One of the greatest traps people fall into when a relationship feels shaky is trying to control the outcome. The mind races with questions like, how do I make her stay? How do I make her see my value? What can I do to change her mind? That desperation for control is rooted in fear. But here's the hard truth. You cannot control another person's choices. You cannot force someone to feel what they do not feel or give what they are unwilling to give. The moment you try, you lose yourself. Real strength comes when you stop asking, how do I make her change? And instead ask, what is this moment teaching me about myself? Every relationship is a mirror. The way she treats you reflects her own inner world, but the way you respond reflects yours. If she is distant, inconsistent, or dismissive, it reveals something about her capacity to love. But your reaction reveals your capacity to love yourself. Do you abandon your standards just to keep her close? Do you sacrifice your self-respect in the hope that she will finally choose you? Or do you take this as an opportunity to grow stronger, clearer, and more grounded in who you are? Gabor Maté teaches that the root of suffering often comes from the belief that love has to be earned through struggle. Many people unconsciously repeat the patterns of their childhood, thinking that if they try harder, sacrifice more, or hold on longer, then finally they will be worthy. But love built on proving is not love, it is bondage. The real question isn't how do I make her love me? It's why do I believe I have to beg for love in the first place? That shift in perspective turns pain into a lesson, a chance to break free from old wounds and create a healthier path forward. When you focus on growth instead of control, everything changes. Instead of obsessing over her behavior, you redirect your energy into building yourself. You begin to invest in your health, your purpose, your friendships, your vision. You stop seeing rejection as a threat to your worth and start seeing it as redirection toward a stronger version of yourself. And that transformation is magnetic because nothing is more powerful than someone who is rooted in self-respect, someone who refuses to abandon their own dignity in the name of keeping another person. You cannot control whether she stays or goes, but you can control how you show up for yourself. And ironically, when you stop trying to force the outcome, you create the space for something real to happen. Either she rises to meet you, or she drifts away, and both outcomes serve your growth. And the line you must hold on to is this: love is not about controlling another, it is about mastering yourself. One of the most powerful shifts you can make in a relationship is moving from words to actions. Too many people get caught in endless explanations, trying to convince someone of their worth, arguing their side, or repeating promises of how things could be different. But here's the truth: love is not sustained by constant talking. It is revealed in consistent action. If she is truly interested, she will show it, not just say it. And if you are truly grounded in yourself, you won't need to argue or beg. Your actions will speak louder than anything you could ever say. Think about it. When you beg or over-explain, you're really trying to change your perception of you through words. But if her feelings aren't aligned, no amount of talking will change that. Words can be denied, twisted, or ignored, but actions are undeniable. If she wants to be with you, she will make the effort. She will call back. She will show up. She will meet you halfway. And if she doesn't, that silence is also an action, and it tells you everything you need to know. Gabor Maté often points out that in relationships we can get addicted to the idea of potential. We hold on to what someone could be instead of facing what they are. We tell ourselves stories: she just needs more time, or she doesn't mean it when she pulls away. But the truth is not in the stories, it is in the actions. And if her actions are showing disinterest, avoidance, or disrespect, then that is who she is choosing to be in that moment. The question becomes, are you willing to believe her actions, or will you keep clinging to her words? This is where your own actions matter most. Instead of trying to convince her, you shift your energy into showing her and yourself where your standards are. You don't argue, you don't chase, you don't beg. You set boundaries with grace, and you live them. You focus on your own growth, your own peace, your own journey. When she sees that you are not shaken by her silence, when she notices that you are not trying to control her decisions, she feels the weight of your self-respect. That presence is far more powerful than 1,000 explanations. And even if she doesn't respond the way you hoped, your actions still win, because they build you into the kind of person who doesn't compromise self-respect for temporary validation. You are training yourself to live by the truth that love is not something you chase. It is something you share with someone who meets you on equal ground. In the end, words fade, but actions remain. Her actions reveal her truth, and your actions reveal your worth. And the line you must hold on to is this: stop explaining, stop convincing, just act and let the truth reveal itself. In the heart of every healthy relationship lies self-respect. Without it, no matter how much love, effort, or energy you give, You'll always find yourself trapped in a cycle of pain and disappointment. Too often, when someone feels a partner pulling away, they abandon themselves in the process of trying to hold on. They lower their standards, ignore the red flags, and tolerate behavior that slowly erodes their dignity. But here's the truth. The moment you give up your self-respect to keep someone, you've already lost. More than the relationship itself, you've lost your foundation. Self-respect means knowing your value without needing another person to validate it. It means recognizing that your worth is not measured by how much someone else loves you, stays with you, or chooses you. It's about standing firmly in who you are, regardless of how someone else treats you. When you respect yourself, you don't beg for attention, you don't chase after someone who doesn't see your value, and you don't compromise your deepest needs just to avoid being alone. Instead, you hold steady, trusting that the right person will meet you where you are, without you having to shrink yourself. Gabor Maté often speaks about how early wounds shape our adult relationships. If you grow up feeling unseen or unworthy, you might unconsciously repeat that cycle by seeking love from people who cannot give it. You may confuse chaos for passion or mistake neglect for a challenge to win over. But self-respect interrupts that pattern. It's the voice inside that says, I will not relieve my old wounds by staying where I am not valued. It's the boundary that protects you from slipping into old, destructive dynamics. When you carry self-respect into a relationship, everything changes. You no longer tolerate mixed signals because you know clarity is a form of love. You no longer accept excuses because you know commitment is shown through consistency. You no longer chase because you understand that love is mutual. It cannot be forced or earned through desperation. Instead of asking, how do I make her stay? You begin to ask, does this relationship honor me as much as I honor it? That shift alone separates those who cling out of fear from those who love from a place of strength. Well, here's the paradox. When you embody self-respect, you become more attractive. Your calmness, your clarity, your refusal to compromise, your dignity, these qualities draw people in. Because in a world full of chaos, someone who knows their value radiates a rare kind of power. Whether she stays or leaves, you remain whole. And in that wholeness, you create space for love that is true, equal, and lasting. And the line you must hold onto is this. When you choose self-respect first, you will never lose. You will only discover who is truly meant to stand beside you. And